Good evening, and welcome to a tutorial on how I managed to free range pretty much all my slimes in each area of the ranch. And first off, for this area, I do want to say that it, it can be a little troublesome at times, but as long as you set up a fruit and veggies as like the crop in your gardens here, and make sure you have the slimes that at least eat those kinds. Like you don't want ones that like eat just meat, like angler cats and or like hunter variants, those kind of largos. And make sure to set up a wall somewhere like this. I guess you could use a net, but then they'll get stuck and they will eat. They'll be slightly troublesome, I think. Even with a wall, it still can be kind of a pain because literally just before I started this, I had to move this one hunter rock logo just over here. Where do you? Somewhere. Nope. Hard one to track down. And before, when they didn't have the update where like you could actually place stuff anywhere you like, it was even worse because this would just open up and didn't really have any locations to block this up with. And I would at times have like some of my largos, they'd even be all the way down here. I'd catch them many times. They'd be right here. Which, I don't know, it's something with their pathing maybe or something like that. Like they just want to come over here for some reason. And I just see them just hanging out, like right here. So yeah, I do recommend having any variants of largos I eat, veggie at all, fruit, and we'll of course get to the next area, which will be more so used for just largos that eat meat. Or you could even just have like a singular slime. Oh, and also, another thing to note is that, I don't know, that looks like he found me. That's usually how it goes. Okay, and this is of course more so tailored towards anyone that wants to keep, the largo versions of like slimes. You can of course just put like a singular like one slime, like the small, like any of these areas, and it'd work. But now for this one, this is what I mean to keep any slimes that just eat meat only, or maybe troublesome food like other variants, like this one. Very, very clever. Now, I do recommend setting up some walls over here, and maybe if you have any toys, put them always towards the middle, back here, so they're more inclined to not go towards the edge. But I've never had any really go over there anymore in the past, like, months. Though there is some chickens getting through. Alright, now, the thing you might be wondering is, why would you, really want to do this kind of thing? Like, it's not the most effective. But that's not really the most important thing about being effective. More so when I've already spent the time and, before, like, corralling them and collected pretty much everything I would really need. Mostly in the 900s before, but of course, use some because of the new update. So at least make sure you're decent with your plort economy and the refinery before doing this. This is like I'd recommend for a super endgame. Like when you really have nothing left to do and you don't really want to grind much else. And another thing I do recommend is try not to like have too much like money always saved up, because you know when a new update comes out, it's a reason to grind. Something to go for, you know. And you gotta maybe you'll keep the new slimes and make some money off them for a bit. But that's also a thing. Like at least me personally, I don't really mind spending extra time grinding for monies to get the new upgrades or new things that come out at times. So that's for this area. A decent place to keep your meat eaters. Because the other area, which we'll get to right over here. Now this spot, this was originally where I kept like most of my slimes. I just ate meat. And before, of course, the update where you could just place walls and stuff or like things anywhere. I'd mainly kept like my angler slimes here. Had them all in this little pond. But now this has become more so just a little storage area and where I keep some tangles. They kind of watch over the place now. Oh yes, this can be now an actual decent spot for this can be now actually a decent spot for keeping your free range slimes as long as you block up certain areas. So make sure to keep their food here. Now we're on to the cave, which is as easy as it gets for free ranging anything. Like you could keep anything in this cave, maybe your most favorite slime. I of course had to go with bats because you gotta have a bat cave. So make sure to put all their food here. Any fruits that they'd want. Well, of course if you're making a bat, but whatever, you know, whatever slime you want to keep. And yes, it's nice to keep like an original, like, you know, version of the slime. Just their small version. Maybe you want to keep a cave full of hunters, maybe tabbies. This is the safest place to lay for slimes, just roam free. Sometimes, rarely, they might get into these little side caves. Sometimes. And even as far as this at times. So make sure to always check here every so often. And also right here too. This can be more troublesome at times. But I guess you could like block it up. Now let's go over to the archaeology site. Now, this is another very, very good spot to like free range anything, I'd say. As long as you know, set up some walls. Block up these two specifically. And I guess you could even block up this one too, so they don't go down here at all. You don't really want your slimes ending up down here. Then they'll get stuck. And that'll be a pain. But what I kept here right now is my Tangles, Twins, and Slumber combinations. Just because they look pretty pretty. I really like the Tangle slimes. See, a nice thing about like letting your slimes be free range is, you know, it feels more like an actual like farming kind of experience. Like you're not just going up to, you know, your crow and just sucking up the plorts out of there and then That's how you do it. More so you gotta actually go around, back it all up. Definitely much more tedious, but you know, I guess spend more time with your slimes and more time in Slime Rancher, which is more important. I've also kept my fire slimes here, which people have said that you can't really like keep them in these magma pools, but I've had them in there since literally like the first month or two of the game coming out back in 2022. And everyone's always saying like they despawn if you keep them in there. I'm not sure why mine don't, but I've already seen any other despawn. I've always had them in those every time. Which it would be nice if they updated it where they'd actually be at least happy being in magma, like their fire slimes, like why they grumpy, you know. At least like, they don't gotta give Lord, but like at least don't let them be angry. Like they're in the habitat, you know. And this spot is really good for your puddle slimes. Which of course I put the rubber ducky in. I haven't seen that yet. A sleeping puddle slime. Amazing. Now next off, let's go check out the main area. Alrighty. Now, for this spot, again, like you can kind of really just do anything with them to like put whatever slime you want here in any kind of configuration. But what I've seen work the best for me, at least over time, is that your food down here always, because you don't really want them going up here, because then they might get stuck on like the fences or other little spots here and there. You don't really want them up here at all, and they might sneak down into the lab area. They'll get stuck around the house. Sometimes I catch some ringtails even getting over here. Never know really with them. But yes, this is a very decent configuration, I think, for if you want to still like, you know, keep a slime out and about. And I believe that's mostly it, really. That's how you can keep your slimes out and about, free range, and I guess have a much more enjoyable experience with them. There is one more thing I did want to mention, is that with a lot of these slimes, a lot of these largos, they were originally ones that I kept way back when I started the game, and were the ones I kept in like corrals, and then eventually I would just let them all out here. I would have them all like, you know, corral here, corral there, here, there, and that food type, and just be grinding them for plorts. Then eventually I was just like, you know, like I got enough now. I of course used the bottom area too. Down there also. And eventually just let them all out. And this kind of became what I enjoyed the most about it. Just whenever you need something, it's always going to be here. All the plorts are here, every kind. Every slime that I remember. I guess the main thing I do want to, stress is that you know, it's not really always about just hardcore grinding your slimes all day and night, you know? Enjoy the game, do what you want with it, keep your slimes happy, make sure to play with them often. There's one of them. One of my very original ones. The ring-tailed tabbies. I used to have a little gang of them. It was 4 of them specifically. Let's see, are they still here? I'm pretty sure some got out. You only have 2 of them now. A little story about them is that they would always find some way to get out of like the corral I had. Very, very troublesome slimes. I think I still have like a screenshot of it like forever ago. It's nice to still have them here. Pretty much most of the slimes are the day ones. And I think that's just about it, really. Let me know your thoughts. Maybe I can improve this somehow. I'm not sure I've really thought about it too much more, but there's lots of new, like, items and things, objects and whatnot. Maybe I can work it into, but not too sure, really. At least on my own. Or maybe you want to share your ranch experience. What do you do with yours? And thanks for watching. Time to sleep.